Welcome in, everybody. Ready to dive deep into Change Your Day, Not Your Life.
Always ready for a deep dive, especially with this book. It's Andy Core.
Right? Yeah. Change Your Day, Not Your Life by Andy Core. It was requested, actually.
Yeah.
Lots of folks wanting to know about his take on staying motivated and getting things done, with everything going on.
I get it, everyone's busy, but this book is all about making those small changes that actually make a difference, not some huge life overhaul.
Right. And that's what intrigued me, this whole behavioral momentum idea, like how you start your day sets you up for, well, everything else. But how does that actually work?
Oh, it's fascinating. Core talks about this illusionist, Darren Brown, who worked with these ad execs.
Okay.
He placed all these, images and words strategically along their route to the office, totally subtle, but it ended up influencing their ideas for a logo.
Wait, so just by changing their surroundings a little bit, he steered them toward the same idea?
Pretty much, yeah. It's the power of those little environmental cues. Not subliminal messaging or anything, but it makes you think about how much our environment might be impacting us every day. And that's behavioral momentum. It's like your actions, thoughts, feelings throughout the day, they become cues for what you do next. Each choice you make kind of sets the stage for the next, either pushing you forward or holding you back.
So you're saying we could be unconsciously setting ourselves up for a less productive day if we're not careful?
Yeah, exactly. But the cool thing is we can flip that and consciously build positive momentum. The book really emphasizes this do no be concept. Like the actions you choose to do, they influence what you know and understand, which then shapes who you become.
Oh, I see. And it's not just like going through the motions, right? It's about understanding why certain actions lead to the outcome you want.
Exactly. He gives this great example. Barry Osterk, this top salesperson, attributes a lot of his success to this really structured morning routine.
Super structure.
Oh, yeah. But it's not just about the routine itself. It's about what it does for him. Like he prioritizes exercise, healthy breakfast, even schedules his first 2 meetings the night before.
So he's organized, but how does that connect to this do no be thing?
Well, think of it like this. Those actions, the exercise, the breakfast, that's the DO, it energizes him, but also mentally prepares him for the day.
Okay.
And that sets him up to approach his work with focus and clarity. So that's the TNOW.
Makes sense.
And by consistently doing this, it reinforces his identity as a proactive, successful person. That's the BU. It's like a chain reaction.
I like that. So early wins, even small ones, they build up that confidence, kind of create that ripple effect through the whole day.
That's it, yeah. He's basically priming himself for success right from the start.
So we're talking about building positive momentum through the choices we make. Now, the book also dives into these categories of people: strugglers, strivers, and then the ones we're really interested in, the thrivers.
The folks who don't just manage pressure, but actually excel under it.
Right. What makes them so different?
It's a few things. Core talks about their outlook, this deep-seated sense of hope. Like they truly believe in their ability to succeed, even when things get tough.
So it's not just about working hard. It's about having that, I guess you could call it faith, that it'll work out.
I think so, yeah. It's powerful. Think about it. When you approach something with hope and optimism, you're way more likely to keep going even when there are setbacks.
I get that, but it's easier said than done, right? Maintaining that hopeful outlook. It's like we start with all this motivation, and then, peef, it's gone. What happens there?
He calls it motivational amnesia, which I think is pretty accurate. We get so caught up in the day-to-day, we lose sight of the bigger picture, our initial goals, He uses this example of Janet, an executive, super stressed, wanted better work-life balance, but felt completely overwhelmed by the thought of changing her whole life.
I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling. So what did she do? Did she quit her job? Go live on a beach?
Not exactly. That's where the whole change your day idea comes in. Instead of these massive changes, Core had her look at her daily routine and identify what he calls junk hours.
Junk hours? What's that?
It's those times when you're technically doing something but not really being productive, like scrolling through your phone or getting bogged down in low-priority tasks.
Oh, yeah. I think we all have a few of those.
Right. So he helped her swap those junk hours with activities that actually boosted her energy and well-being. Things like exercise, spending time with people, even just taking proper breaks.
So not changing everything at once, just making small strategic changes within her existing day.
Exactly. And it goes even deeper. The book talks about the importance of understanding your personal rhythm, your capacity, like knowing when you're most energized and productive so you can structure your day around that.
That's interesting. But how do you figure that out? Does the book offer any guidance on that?
Oh, yeah. It's these 4 really powerful questions for self-reflection.
4 questions.
Yeah. And I think those are a perfect place to pick up in our next part.
Sounds good to me. I'm definitely curious to see what those questions are and how they can help us unlock, even more productivity and motivation. Okay, so last time we were talking about those 4 self-reflection questions from Andy Corr's book, Change Your Day, Not Your Life. I'm ready to hear what they are, see if they can actually help us, tailor our days for maximum productivity and all that good stuff.
All right, let's break them down. The first one is, what am I motivated to do today? It's about really pinpointing those things that genuinely excite you, the tasks or projects that'll give you that extra little energy boost.
So finding those things that don't feel like a chore makes sense. I know for me, if something feels like a chore, I'm way more likely to procrastinate. But if it's something I'm genuinely excited about, it gets done way faster.
Exactly. And that actually leads perfectly into the second question, what am I confident I can do today? It's not about trying to tackle everything at once. It's about setting realistic goals that will build a sense of accomplishment as you go.
I like that. Recognizing your limitations and setting yourself up for those small wins. Because those small wins are what keep you motivated, right?
Right. It's a good reminder that we don't have to be superhuman. It's okay to acknowledge those areas where maybe you need to prioritize or delegate. Now, the third question, this one's really interesting. It gets to the heart of our energy levels. When will I have the most energy today?
That's a good one. So it's about being more aware of our natural rhythms and, I guess, capitalizing on those peak performance times.
Exactly. We all have those times of day when we're naturally more focused, more productive. And if we can schedule our most demanding tasks for those high energy periods, it's like working smarter, not harder.
It makes me think about those junk hours we talked about. I wonder if those often happen during our natural energy dips. Like maybe we instinctively gravitate towards those mindless activities when our brain and body just need a break.
That's a great point, yeah. And it actually leads right into the fourth and final question. How will I stay in control today?
Stay in control.
That one feels a little more abstract. What exactly does he mean by that?
It's about being proactive in managing those potential distractions, the things that can drain our energy and throw our whole day off course. Could be setting boundaries, minimizing interruptions, or even just having a plan for how to deal with those unexpected challenges that, let's face it, always come up.
So recognizing those potential pitfalls and having strategies in place to navigate them.
Exactly. Empowering yourself to stay focused on those priorities even when things get a little chaotic.
Right.
Now, let's switch gears a bit and talk about those mini patterns we touched on earlier. Remember those seemingly small habits that can have a surprisingly big impact on our productivity and well-being.
Oh, yeah, like that story about Kor's wife, Naomi, and her key placement routine. Simple habit, but saves so much stress and wasted time.
Perfect example. And the book highlights 3 key areas where these mini patterns can be super impactful: mornings, work breaks, and the end of the day.
Okay, let's start with mornings. What kind of mini patterns can set us up for a productive day? Core has this one recommendation that seems so simple, but it's really effective. Food first, caffeine second. Instead of reaching for that coffee right away, start your day with a nourishing breakfast. Protein, complex carbs, that sort of thing.
Wait, but isn't coffee supposed to help you wake up and get going? Why delay the caffeine boost?
Well, think about what happens when you have caffeine on an empty stomach. You're basically sending your body on this roller coaster ride of energy spikes and crashes.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like setting yourself up for that mid-morning slump.
Exactly. By prioritizing food first, you're stabilizing your blood sugar, giving your body that sustained energy it needs to focus and be productive.
So not demonizing coffee, just making sure it complements a solid nutritional foundation. I like it. Okay, what about work breaks? We all know by now that checking emails or making to-do lists isn't really a break. What should we be doing instead?
Core is all about choosing activities that actually recharge us. Could be getting up and moving, going for a walk, maybe a few minutes of meditation, or even just a good conversation with a colleague.
So it's about giving our brain and body a true break from that constant state of doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Shifting gears, engaging in activities that restore our energy and focus so we can come back to work feeling refreshed and ready to tackle those challenges again.
Makes sense. Okay, last but not least, the end of the day. How can we wrap up our workday in a way that sets us up for success the next morning?
CORE suggests creating an end-of-day mini pattern to help you transition smoothly into your evening and prepare for a stress-free start the next day.
Interesting. What are some examples of those end-of-day rituals?
Could be tidying up your workspace, reviewing your schedule for the next day, laying out your clothes, or even prepping breakfast the night before. Might seem insignificant, but these small actions can really cut down on that morning rush and all the mental clutter that comes with it.
It's all about setting yourself up for a win.
Exactly. And the key to all of this, these mini patterns, is identifying those mini moments of truth throughout your day. Those tiny decision points where you can consciously choose the more beneficial action.
Can you give me a concrete example of one of those mini moments of truth?
Okay, imagine it's mid-afternoon, you're feeling that energy slump, and you automatically reach for that bag of chips in your desk drawer. That's a mini moment of truth.
It's that moment where you decide, do I give in to the craving, or do I choose a healthier option that will actually fuel my body and mind?
Exactly. And if you create a mini pattern around that trigger, maybe opting for a piece of fruit and a quick walk around the block instead, you're not only making a healthier choice in that moment, you're building a more sustainable habit.
It's like taking back control of those autopilot responses,
Mm.
consciously steering yourself toward a better choice.
That's it. Now, let's move on to something really interesting that CORE dives into. Finding meaning in our work. I think this is something we all wrestle with, especially when we're feeling burned out or just uninspired.
Yeah, for sure. I know when I feel connected to the purpose behind my work, I'm way more motivated and engaged. But how do you cultivate that sense of meaning, especially if you don't love every single aspect of your job?
Such a good question. CORE acknowledges that it's a challenge, and he actually provides this framework called the meaning pyramid to help us align our work with our values. It's got 5 levels, starting with the most basic, survival.
So, like, the base level is just having a job that meets your basic needs for food, shelter, security, that kind of thing.
Exactly, just that foundational level of being able to support yourself and your family.
And what's the next level up?
Above survival is security, feeling stable and secure in your position, knowing you have a reliable income, that sense of job security.
So moving beyond just meeting those basic needs to having a sense of stability and predictability.
Right, that feeling of confidence that your job isn't going anywhere. Now, the third level, this is where things start to get more interesting. Belonging.
Belonging. So feeling like you're part of a team, you have a sense of connection with your colleagues.
Exactly. Feeling valued and respected in your work environment. That sense of camaraderie, community.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that would contribute to a more positive and fulfilling experience. What comes after belonging?
The fourth level is importance. This is where you start to connect your work to a greater purpose, feeling like what you do actually matters.
So recognizing how your contributions are making a difference, even if it's a small one.
Precisely. Feeling like your work is valued and contributes to something bigger than yourself.
Okay. And finally, the top of the pyramid.
That's self-actualization. This is like the pinnacle, that feeling of deep fulfillment and purpose that comes from aligning your work with your deepest values.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. It's recognizing that work isn't just about paying the bills, it's about expressing who you are and contributing to something that really resonates with you.
Exactly. And CORE really emphasizes that even if we're not at that self-actualization level yet, we can still find meaning and motivation by focusing on those aspects of our work that do align with our values. He tells this great story about a weed sprayer who found deep satisfaction in his job by reframing his perspective.
A weed sprayer. That doesn't sound like the most glamorous or fulfilling profession.
Maybe not on the surface, but this guy, he found purpose in recognizing that he was helping to maintain the beauty of his state.
So it's about finding those deeper layers of meaning, even in seemingly ordinary tasks.
Exactly. And CORE also talks about cultivating a service mindset, focusing on how your work benefits others rather than just focusing on your own personal gain. That subtle shift can be incredibly powerful.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected, and even our smallest actions can have that ripple effect.
Right. And this idea of finding meaning in our work, it ties directly into the next big concept. CORE explores the power of a positive and resilient mindset.
I'm ready for the mindset piece. It's so clear that our attitude can really make or break our day, but how do you actually cultivate that positive outlook, especially when you're facing challenges or setbacks? I think that's a great place to pick up for part 3 of our deep dive.
I agree, that's where the real magic happens.
So we've covered a lot of ground with Andy Core's Change Your Day, Not Your Life, building that momentum, those mini patterns, finding the meaning in our work. But I'm really curious about this whole mindset piece, cultivating resilient and positive mindset, because it seems like that's what makes all these other changes, actually stick.
It's huge, yeah. Core really emphasizes that. He has a whole chapter dedicated to the power of attitude. He argues that it's key not just for productivity, but for your overall well-being. He even suggests it can impact your physical health, not just how you feel emotionally.
Right. I mean, we've all had those days where if you start with a negative mindset, it just kind of snowballs, right?
Yeah.
It affects everything, your focus, how you interact with people. But shifting to that more positive outlook, it can be really tough, especially when things get hard. What does Core suggest? Like, how do you actually do that?
Well, he talks about a few common enemies of a positive attitude, like perfectionism, for one. That constant striving for flawlessness, it can be so draining. You're always setting yourself up for disappointment, always criticizing yourself.
Oh, I totally get that. That feeling of never being quite good enough.
And then there's pessimism, that tendency to focus on the negative, always expecting the worst. It just saps your energy, makes it so much harder to see those opportunities.
It's like you're creating that reality you're dreading.
Yeah, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Hmm.
And Core also talks about dwelling on past mistakes. He emphasizes self-forgiveness, how important that is for resilience. We all mess up sometimes, but holding on to those past missteps, it just sabotages your present efforts.
Right. You got to let go of the things you can't change. It's about learning from those experiences and moving forward.
Exactly. It's that growth mindset, embracing challenges as opportunities to learn. But how do we actually make that shift from negative to positive? Like, are there any practical techniques we can use to reframe our thinking?
Yeah, because it's one thing to say be positive, but it's a whole other thing to actually do it.
I hear you. Core suggests this really simple practice he calls first thought. You start each day by intentionally choosing a thought or an affirmation that evokes a positive, motivating feeling.
So it's about setting the tone for the day with that intention, right?
Exactly. It could be a phrase, a quote, or even just a mental image that brings up feelings of hope or gratitude or excitement for the day.
Instead of letting your mind just wander into worry or stress, you're consciously choosing that more empowering starting point.
Right. And he really stresses the power of those internal conversations we have with ourselves. That constant self-talk, it can either lift you up or drag you down. If you consciously choose more positive, supportive language, you're literally rewiring your brain for resilience and optimism.
It's like being your own cheerleader.
Exactly. And even small shifts in your mindset, they can have this ripple effect on your actions and ultimately your outcomes.
Now, the book ends with a story about this guy, Lou, who completely transforms his health and well-being with just a simple daily checklist.
Oh, yeah, Lou. He goes from being the office slacker to winning the company health challenge, like, year after year.
What was his secret? Some crazy workout routine or super restrictive diet?
Nope. He just committed to 5 small goals each day. Drinking enough water, taking a walk at lunch, getting enough sleep, expressing gratitude to someone, and doing something kind for someone else.
Those are all so doable, even for busy people. It's a good reminder that it's not about these huge, sweeping changes, but those small things you do consistently that really add up.
Yeah, and Lou's story really highlights that anyone can be a change underdog. It's about taking control, one small step at a time. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Change Your Day, Not Your Life, what are some of the big takeaways we can actually put into practice?
Well, first of all, remember that change doesn't have to be overwhelming. By focusing on those small, strategic shifts in our daily routine, we can make big improvements in our productivity, motivation, our overall well-being.
Totally agree. And those mini patterns, game changer. Find those mini moments of truth throughout your day and use them to make better choices.
Right, it's like reprogramming those automatic responses. And don't forget about finding that meaning in your work. Core's meaning pyramid. Remember, it gives you a framework for aligning your work with your values. It's not just about the task, it's about the impact you're making.
That's right. And of course, that positive, resilient mindset, cultivating hope, self-compassion, that belief in your ability to change, that can really transform your experience even when things get tough.
What I love about all these insights is that they're practical. Not just theories, but things you can actually start doing today to change your day. And ultimately, that changes your life, right?
Absolutely. Small, consistent actions. That's the key.
So as we close out this deep dive, we have one final question for you, our listener. What is one mini pattern inspired by Change Your Day, Not Your Life that you can start today?
Could be as simple as Food first, caffeine second. Maybe incorporating a gratitude practice into your evening, or even just creating that end-of-day checklist to set yourself up for a smooth start tomorrow.
The key is to choose something that feels right for you and stick with it.
Remember, consistency is everything. Go out there and change your day.
And until next time, keep diving deep.